Good evening, everyone, or good morning. My name is Keith from Bantamweight.
This is Max from Bantamweight.
And I am JonJon, not from Bantamweight.
JonJon is the guy who directed our music video, Contact, and we thought it would be a fun idea to sit down and take you through the music video and show you exactly how things were done and what we had to go through. So, without further ado, shall we start?
Let's check it out.
Here we go. No, that's... So, let's talk about it. You probably noticed that we're covered in a bunch of fluorescent paint. And yes, that's true. Max and I had to cover ourselves completely in this fluorescent paint, and it smelled horrible. It smelled like garlic, and it burned our eyes. So the entire music video, our eyes were burning like crazy to the point where it was constantly watering and crying.
And Keith got it way worse than me. Like, you'll see later in the video, he's covered in all this like liquid kind of splashed on paint, which I never had to get on me. And every time we would do that, it would get all over his eyes and burn. I really never got it in my eyes that bad. I got off pretty much scot-free.
Yeah, when you guys were moving too, all the, especially when you were doing the drum stuff, the paint was flaking and flying through the air, so we got a nice inhalation as well. That was great.
And the best part about this is originally Max and I were going to do this video ourselves, and we were just going to use iPhones, and we were talking with JonJon about the idea, and thank goodness he came to our rescue and was like, no, let me do it. Let me do the music video for you because it's going to look terrible. And we only had the idea of painting ourselves in like my bass, and we were only going to do the heads of Max's drums, and then we realized there's so much more to a drum kit than just the heads of each drum, so we had to go out, buy spray paint. It was this fluorescent spray paint, and we bought a cheap $80 drum kit that Max fixed up and spray painted it all the fluorescent colors, which is how we got all of our...
That was a nice arts and crafts project for sure. Yeah, it took a while to get it all evenly sprayed on there, but I think the end result turned out pretty well. Everything seems really vibrant in the video, and so I'm glad that translated.
Yeah,
sure.
And great story. When I went to go buy the spray paint, the guy at Home Depot saw me buying all the spray painting cans, and he said to me, "Have fun tagging, bro." So, yeah, don't do that if you work in customer service.
Also, when I went to buy the drum kit, the bass drum came with no legs, and I didn't want to buy legs for the drum kit, or at least not for the bass drum. And so instead, I just bought a 40-pound bag of sand at Home Depot, and so that bass drum weighed like 45 pounds, and it was a complete pain, but it never moved because it had that big sandbag in there.
Yeah.
So, industry secret to any of you drummers out there: no legs, 45 pounds of sand. That's the secret.
There you go.
Shall we go on?
Let's move.
We're always over our heads, we must try. Take heed in these words, it's alright.
All the different designs that we did.
One thing I think that's really cool is your eyes and the teeth. It looks like it's blue. It almost looks like there's an effect, but that's just the placement of the UV lights that we used.
Yeah,
and it looks... I've gotten a few comments from other people like, how'd you do that to his eyes and his teeth? And it's like, no, they're just so white.
That's my favorite shot. Just keep this orange, no other coloring.
Yeah, orange man. Orange One Punch Man.
Yeah.
Ooh, that's a good shot. Okay, so with that, how'd you do that one?
I just changed the color balance in the editing software.
Yeah, that shot came out very...
Yeah, it looks creepy.
Yeah,
For
really,
sure.
really creepy.
Yeah. It's
Yeah.
just orange. It's just orange, but with the color balance modified.
Yeah,
That's crazy.
yeah. Definitely has that Obsidian kind of
Yeah.
vibe.
Oh, we missed it. But in that shot, if you go back to when Max is playing the keyboard, literally there's a big gash on his finger because the first take he did, he smashed the crap out of his finger and it was bleeding all over the place. And it was literally the first take he did. He just slammed the crap out of it.
But that first take actually was super solid. Like we did a full playthrough with that first take, and that's like maybe 70% of the drums
Nice.
in this, and that ended up being used in this. It was just like the energy was there.
Yeah.
All right.
Was it Monster or was it like the Muppets or Sesame Street?
Animal?
Animal.
Yeah.
It totally it's like animal energy.
Yeah,
For sure.
and then Keith had to, we kept him, like, be more of a beast.
Yeah.
And so Keith had to do like 80 takes.
Oh.
And his back is all sore, like, go even more wild, be more of an animal.
Yeah, after your first few takes, you're like,
Yeah, my neck, the next few days, oh, that entire week, my neck was so screwed up.
Plus that bass is super heavy.
That bass I use in that video is like 80 pounds. But what's also funny is that Max's drumsticks kept slipping out because of the paint on the palms of his hands.
Yeah.
So he just like we had to tape the ends of his drumsticks so he would stop losing control.
Yeah. That's so cool.
That's my favorite shot.
That's a really good shot.
Yeah.
We'll get to it now.
I love to do like dirty looking hands on bass.
Yeah. It's grinding everything.
Yeah.
Ooh, that one turned out good too.
Perfect. Ah, the slow-mo.
Oh, yeah.
That was really good.
That's fun.
Oh yeah, we should talk about the mixture.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna get to. That was nice.
Yeah, I like that idea of like rapidly shifting between shots. Ah, the pouring.
Here we go. The pouring. Okay, so with these shots, we had, what was it? What was the water?
Tonic water.
We had tonic water because tonic water naturally glows under UV light, so we thought it would be a great idea to mix the paint with the UV or the tonic water because we thought it would have a better glow. The original idea was just to use the tonic water and not the paint, so that way we wouldn't have to cover all the walls and the ceilings and the ground with trash bags, but we ended up doing that anyway.
Yeah.
But so when we were doing these shots of pouring the paint on my head, it was a mixture of paint and tonic water has like 32 grams of sugar in each bottle. So I'm kneeling on the ground, Max is on a ladder pouring this mixture on me, and I'm just sticking to myself. I'm covered in this tonic paint mixture. It's burning my eyes because it keeps the paint burns my eyes, and the tonic water makes me stick to everything.
Yeah, your legs were stuck
my
together.
my legs were stuck
It
together.
was that gross puddle of all the poured out
Yeah.
water.
And on the way, when we were done shooting the first day, I had to cover myself in trash bags and sit in Max's car. So when we drove home, like I wouldn't stick to the seats or anything.
Trash
And
bag poncho.
the trash bag poncho is game changer, lifesaver. And yeah, that was probably one of the best showers I ever took, was taking all that paint and all that sticky tonic water mixture off.
There's a great picture of Keith reaching over to me for a paper towel, and I wouldn't give it to him. I was just taking pictures because his eyes are all burning and it's covered in this terrible liquid. It was a cool picture.
After every single pour, it would get in my eyes and it would burn. And I had, because I'm kneeling, I don't have any like paper towel, so I'm like just blind waiting for someone to hold or hand me paper towels of some sort. Oh, these were great shots.
That was the most grueling part of the video for sure, and the only person who had to suffer was Keith.
It's fun to do.
Yeah. And fun fact, we did not use the tonic for Max's drums. It's just regular water and paint because, later on we found out, hey, just regular water works fine.
Yeah.
But we did have to cover everything with trash bags because that stuff got everywhere.
Oh, yeah.
And that's the pattern for pretty much every video we make, is that Keith does the first day of shooting, and so he goes through all the experimentation and basically the hell of all of our bad decisions, and then we learn, and then we realize, okay, it can be way easier and way more pleasant.
Yeah, pretty much.
But these shots.
They're cool.
Yeah, I like how this turned out a lot.
Yeah.
It definitely adds to the impact.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was thinking of that one Someday video when I did that. The Weevil.
Oh yeah.
Different idea, but kind of the rapid images,
Right.
Yeah.
I really like how these tight shots turned out.
Yeah.
Just you can see the texture with the paint and stuff.
Yeah, Keith got a really awesome picture on his whole body.
Yeah.
It looks like weird and grimy.
And it was a good call to do the designs on the face.
Yeah, that's
That-
after we did the pouring and stuff, just the mixture of all the different fluids and stuff.
Yeah, this one came out, this final mixture turned out the best.
You look like Toxic Avenger.
Toxic Avenger. Or
the scum. What is it? The chum scrubber.
All the evolutions of me. Final evolution, chum scrubber.
Looks like allergy.
Yeah.
Just to fade away.
That one turned out really good.
Yeah.
And when the
As you might be able to see here, all of Max's cymbals are broken because he just took all of his trashed cymbals and we just painted them, and we figured no one would notice. But now you do.
I don't want to use my good
You don't want to use good cymbals. So the cymbals actually sounded decent for broken cymbals, but when you painted them, they had no ring. They were dead.
It's like, ka!
Because we had to, for the cymbals, we had to put so many layers on. We had to do.
We probably did 5 layers.
5 layers of paint on the cymbals, and afterwards, those cymbals were dead. You would hit them, no sound would come out.
And there's actually a couple layers on my keyboard too. That's a white color though, and it kind of turned out blue. Same thing on the hi-hat actually. That's supposed to be white, but it kind of just turned out blue and a little bit darker.
Yeah, the interesting thing with the fluorescent colors is that they all just ended up being green, orange, and blue. Because there's pinks in there, but the pinks look orange. The greens.
Oh, and my hair's actually yellow.
Yeah, his hair is actually a yellow color, but it turned out green. And then the white looks blue. So in the end, there's more than 3 colors, but things just turned out to be blue, green, and orange, which is pretty interesting.
It's still cool.
Still cool. Still turned out great. Big drum fill.
So that kind of effect where it looks like a reflection, that was when I took that little triangular prism.
Oh
thing.
yeah, that turned out really nice.
I think it looks pretty cool.
I think it looks really good.
Yeah, just kind of that extra little trippy element.
Yeah, I mean, it adds a little flavor in there. It's really nice. And this cymbal crash with all the paint on it turned out amazing.
That was really fun to do. So, with the camera and stuff, we cut a hole in a plastic bag, and then I cut a plastic bag and I wore it over myself.
Trash poncho.
Yeah, that was the first trash poncho.
Yeah. And so what was funny is that during these shots with Max, I actually had to hold the black lights, so I'm covered in a trash poncho as well. Everyone was in a trash poncho. I mean, it was just the three of us, but JonJon, myself were in trash ponchos, and Max is just there, like basically naked. And if anyone walked in that room, seeing two dudes in trash ponchos with a camera,
yeah, I was crouched down like this with trash, and then you just see the lens like barely poking out. And then in the corner, holding the light up, and then has a trash bag.
Just like I cut one hole, so I'm completely in a trash bag, just with one hole with my arm out, and holding the black light, but my legs are completely out.
Weren't we testing a shot too, where you laid completely down on the ground?
Yeah.
And you had bags over you, and then we're like, actually, I don't think that looks good.
Yeah. Oh man, yeah. And so what's also hilarious about these shots is we were too lazy to put trash bags on the ceiling, but we put trash bags everywhere else as much as we could. Mm-hmm. And when we cleaned everything up, we looked, and there's just splatter all over, and it was a white tiled ceiling, so there's just a bunch of fluorescent paint on the ceiling. Yeah. Luckily, you can't see it too much, but when you turned the lights off, it was like just the ceiling lights up like a starry night.
Yeah, I went through and I cleaned it up as good as I could, but there's still a bunch on there.
I hope no one looks up.
And yeah, that's the
video.
That's the end of the video. That took you like what, a week to edit? You worked through that fast.
Yeah, I think. Well, the initial draft I sent, I think that took 2 days.
Yeah.
And then from there it was just kind of polishing up some of the stuff on there. But yeah,
it's really quick.
Yeah.
Yeah, all of the music videos we try to do we try to go as low cost as possible, but with as high output as we can possibly get. And this video we feel like is the perfect example of that, where we probably spent with the drum kit and my bass and the drum kit was like $180, and then all of the paint was like what, $100?
I think I spent like $250.
Yeah, the paint was really expensive, but then and then we rented a light, so we did everything for probably under $1,000, which
for sure
still is a lot of money. $1,000 is still a lot of money, but when it comes to music videos, $1,000 is nothing.
Yeah.
And
that's an ultra indie budget.
Right? Ultra indie, 100%.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, and I'm happy with it. I think it turned out great.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely had a very, very incredible turnout.
It was a lot of fun. I'm excited for the next one. Definitely.
Yeah.
And I can't believe how black we got the background. Just those sheets.
Oh yeah, the background was just, we ran to Target, bought some black sheets and hung them, and then returned them. So
and that's
no budge.
The key to creating that void is having some separation from the background in your subject and the foreground, and the light placement to just make sure that there's as little direct light spilling onto the background, and just trying to keep it focused on the subject. And the more space you can create from the background, then you can kind of adjust the exposure on the camera to basically just make everything else look like a void. As long as the thing in the foreground is exposed properly, that's how you get it.
Yeah, we got that. The blacks really look great.
Yeah, for sure. I don't know if that made sense what I just said, but
no, it made sense.
I understood it, but I'm really smart.
And we did this this whole thing. We rented a practice space. It was a pretty small room. We did half of it in our rehearsal room, which is a small space, and then the other half was done in a space that, I don't know, how big do you think that was?
It's probably like 20 by 30 or something like that.
Yeah, it was a not a huge space, but it was enough to get the results that we needed.
Compared to our room, it was huge. Our room is like 9 by 11, I think, which is so small. Like, especially you have 3 people in there and a ladder and then all these sheets up and then all this camera gear and then Keith, who's huge.
Yeah, and what was funny is that it was we rented a rehearsal space for bands, and so we're trying to set all this stuff up, and the guy who's running it is like, by the way, there's a band in here at 4, and so we're like, okay, we set everything up and we shoot until like 3, tear everything down, and clean everything up, and then go back to our practice space and finish the other shots, and we did everything in 2 days.
I think in total we spent 10 hours shooting.
Yeah,
which is not that bad.
Which isn't that bad. 10 hours, but all together, because all of the painting took multiple days. My base probably had 5 layers of paint on it to really get it that vibrant orange, and then we had to do Max's entire kit. Yeah. So it was probably, I don't know, a week's worth of painting.
Yep.
But our bodies took a few minutes. Just like, we didn't even use paintbrushes. We just just it right into our hand and then just started covering it. So
yeah, there was so much in my hair. I think I put a whole bottle in my hair and it felt like it never lit up.
Yeah.
I have thick hair.
And I have no hair, so I didn't have that problem.
Yeah. So. He used only just one finger. The whole thing.
Yeah. But yeah, I think that's the video. Do we have anything else to add?
I don't think so.
I think we're good. But if you want a video, check out JonJon.
Yeah.
We'll link him in the description.
Yeah, please, if you have any music videos you want done, he's your guy. Very professional. Very, what's the word? Tech efficient. Is that the right phrase?
Probably.
He's just the guy. So yeah, thanks again for doing that video for us, JonJon.
Of course, yeah, my pleasure. That was a lot of fun.
Yeah, well, thank you for watching this. I don't think we have anything else to add. Again, my name's Keith.
My name is Max.
And I'm JonJon.
And thank you for watching our viewing of the music video. We'll catch you in the next one.